Bienvenue à Coffee Break French.
Welcome to the Coffee Break French Show. Moi, c'est Marc.
Et je suis Max.
Comment vas-tu, Max?
Très très bien, et toi?
J'ai la pêche aujourd'hui.
Ouh, la pêche, la banane.
Et la frite aussi. Avoir la pêche, avoir la banane, avoir la frite. It means to be on good form. And that is exactly the kind of thing that we are covering in these weekly episodes to help you take your French further, to build on what you already know and to learn more. One coffee break at a time.
And remember to subscribe, whether you're watching a video on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, or if you're listening to the podcast version, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to.
Tout à fait. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on fait aujourd'hui?
Alors, aujourd'hui, on parle d'avoir.
Avoir, the verb avoir and the expressions that go along with it.
Exactly. A lot of expressions use avoir in French.
Shall we get started? On y va?
Allez, c'est parti.
Avoir is one of the first verbs that we learn in French. I know that when I was at school and I was beginning to learn French, I was learning to talk about my family, j'ai un frère, and so on. But it's also a verb that we learn very early on that it doesn't always translate as to have.
Indeed, avoir expresses the possession, like avoir un frère, avoir une maison, etc. But you can use avoir for very different things. For example, if you want to talk about your age.
Okay, so again, something that you learn very early on, certainly at school. J'ai 12 ans, j'ai 13 ans, and so on. But j'ai, whatever the number is, en, literally, I have 13 years, I have 30 years, I have 40 years, and so on.
Exactement.
But there are other expressions, and we can group them together as avoir expressions. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this episode. So let's go, first of all, for a very common one, to be hungry.
Right. To be hungry is avoir faim.
So literally, to have hunger. We say to be hungry in English, but in French, we talk about having hunger. So I would say, j'ai faim.
J'ai faim, I am hungry.
Mm-hmm. Or I have hunger.
Oui. And if we're talking about being thirsty, we would say avoir soif.
Yeah, so j'ai soif, je dois boire mon café. I'm thirsty, I need to drink my coffee.
So again, to have thirst, quite literally.
Talking of coffee, you may see, if you're watching the video version, we've got these lovely Coffee Break French mugs. If you want your own Coffee Break French mug, there is a link underneath this video. You can get your own Coffee Break French mug, which will undoubtedly improve your learning experience as you enjoy your coffee or tea or whatever it is you are enjoying as you learn. If you're listening to this, head to coffeebreakgiftshop.com.
Super. So we had avoir faim, avoir soif, that can pair together. There's another couple of pairs that we can think of.
Yes, so very often they come in pairs. So I'm thinking of avoir chaud.
Avoir chaud is a great example, to be warm, to be hot.
Okay, avoir chaud and avoir froid.
Oui, avoir froid, you will have guessed, to be cold.
Okay. What about being right and wrong?
They follow the same pattern as well. So to have reason, to be right, is avoir raison.
Yeah, for example, we could say, je pense qu'il a raison. I think that he is right. I think that he has reason, literally.
Exactement. And if you think he's not right, qu'il n'a pas raison, there's a word, is avoir tort.
Avoir tort. So that's T-O-R-T, avoir tort. So j'ai tort, I'm wrong.
Exactement. And there are other avoir expressions. For example, if you want to express the idea of being afraid of, being scared of, it's avoir peur de.
Okay, so to have fear of, literally, avoir peur de, j'ai peur des araignées, par exemple.
Des araignées, par exemple. Very common fear.
So that's j'ai peur des araignées, because de becomes des araignées, because it's I have fear of the spiders.
Exactly. Of the, les becomes des.
Tout à fait, tout à fait. What about to be sleepy?
It's also an avoir expression. It's avoir sommeil.
Sommeil. It's sometimes a little tricky to pronounce that word. Sommeil. Avoir sommeil. Donc, j'ai sommeil ce soir. I'm feeling sleepy this evening. Literally, I have sleepiness.
Sleepiness. Great word. Parfait. And some others don't really translate to be in English, but use avoir in French anyway. And avoir besoin is a key verb, very useful.
Avoir besoin de, so to need or to have need of something. So, for example, j'ai besoin de 2 kilos de pommes.
Ouais, un exemple parfait. So, and just like you said, avoir besoin de. We need the de for the need.
Yeah. So, I need 2 kilos of apples parce que je vais faire une tarte aux pommes.
Une tarte aux pommes, une grande tarte aux
Une
pommes.
très grande tarte aux pommes. Tu as envie de manger une tarte aux pommes?
J'ai toujours envie de manger une tarte aux pommes. What a transition.
So, avoir envie de faire quelque chose, to feel like doing something, to fancy doing something.
Ouais, it could also be to crave if it's followed by food, for example.
Yeah.
And unlike the English, you can use it with a noun. J'ai envie de chocolat.
J'ai envie de chocolat. I'm craving chocolate. Tout à fait, très bien. Okay, what we're going to do now is put some of these avoir expressions into a little challenge for you. And this is going to be a translation challenge. So you're going to be translating phrases from English into French. And each time we're going to give you 10 seconds to try to work out this phrase.
Sounds good.
Okay, shall we get started?
Tu as envie de commencer?
J'ai envie de commencer, bien sûr. Et je n'ai pas peur. I'm not scared that our listeners and our viewers will not be able to manage this. Parce qu'ils ont toujours raison.
Ils ont toujours raison.
Okay, so numéro 1.
How would you say my mother is always right?
Okay, my mother is always right. 10 secondes. Et c'est terminé. Donc, my mother is always right. We're going to put this into franglais.
Ooh, okay.
And say, my mother has always reason. Okay.
Sounds great.
Sounds terrible in English. Ma mère a toujours raison.
Exactement. That's
Okay.
the only translation.
Right. So my mother's always right. Ma mère a toujours raison.
Bravo.
Okay. Donc, numéro 2. I'll give you one now. This is a little more complicated because we're going into the past here. Okay. So I needed 5 minutes more. Okay. I needed 5 minutes more. 10 secondes. Alors, I needed 5 minutes more.
So I had need of, right? So imperfect in French here. J'avais. J'avais besoin de 5 minutes de plus.
So that's a little tricky. 5 minutes more, 5 minutes de plus. We need the de in there.
We need it, indeed. Of more.
Yeah. And also, plus, we sometimes say plus, but that when it means no more.
Exactly.
But that's for another episode.
Would be a great episode.
It would, yeah, let's take a note of that. So, j'avais besoin, I had need of, I needed 5 minutes de plus, 5 minutes more. Très bien. Okay, maybe one more.
Okay. How would you say, Mark? It is 3 a.m. and I am not sleepy.
Okay, it's 3 a.m. and I'm not sleepy. 10 secondes. Okay, it's 3 a.m. and I'm not sleepy. So it's 3 a.m. Il est 3 heures du matin.
Parfait.
And I'm not sleepy. So I have not sleepiness. Je n'ai pas sommeil.
Je n'ai pas sommeil. Excellent.
Très bien. Okay, so in this episode, we've been looking at avoir expressions. These are special expressions which use the verb avoir. And the thing is that in English, we typically don't translate these with the verb to have. So to be sleepy.
Avoir sommeil.
To be thirsty.
Avoir soif.
To be hungry.
Avoir faim.
To be cold.
Avoir froid.
To need.
Avoir besoin de.
And to feel like doing something.
Avoir envie de.
Très bien. Et c'est tout pour le moment.
C'est tout.
We hope that you've enjoyed this lesson of Coffee Break French. And if you'd like to see all of these examples plus a few more written down, then you can check out our blog post about this topic. There is a link in the description of the podcast.
Exactement. And if you'd like more help with your French, we send regular free email lessons. To sign up, visit coffeebreaklanguages.com/French.
They're very good. You really should sign up. We talk about lots of things like vocabulary and grammar and culture and avoir expressions and more. You can look out for the next lesson in your inbox very soon if you sign up. Alors, c'est tout pour aujourd'hui.
C'est tout. Merci beaucoup, Marc.
Merci à toi et merci à vous. Thank you for watching and we'll see you again soon. À la prochaine.
Happy coffee breaking.
You have been listening to a Coffee Break Languages production for the Radiolingua Network. Copyright 2023 Radiolingua Limited. Recording copyright 2023 Radiolingua Limited. All rights reserved.